same names in this program, and they grow up in it, they learn the system, and man, they need to say 18-1.
This is number 40, Daniel Davis with the ball. He'll give it to Clark. Clark surveys. He's kind of dribbling around, being patient. I like this style of play that we're seeing from the MHEA.
Yeah, they slowed it down a little bit. I think the turnovers were caused by playing into the hand of the CHSA team as we get almost another one. Yes.
There's a arid pass turned into points for CHSA.
Harris converts, and you know, the reason they're pulling the ball out there, Joel, they're trying to slow down, and the coach is trying to get it where Jordan Thomas, where they take their time and don't make the errant passes, but they really played into the hand of the Wolverines by responding to their traps and not panicking. They just got to get their head about them. Look for the open man. Whenever you're double team, there's somebody else that's going to be the ball out there. Don't lose your cool, and they've kind of done that here as they've lost the lead.
4-point deficit for MHEA. Another tips pass. Luckily, Daniel Davis is right there. Davis will dump it off to number 42. He'll drive the lane, scoop, and try to score, but couldn't too strong.
The ball was tied up, almost got a jump ball there. They've got it on that.
Oh, great passing underneath. 4-point deficit by the glass, and you can see that will fade away. He hit the shot. That's typical of what you see in a football game.
You won't see that show up in the box score, but a great job by the backboard.
Yeah, great job by the backboard, of course. This is Andrew Thomas for MHEA holding the ball. They're consent. They're being very slow. He'll give it to Cam. He'll pull up for three. Got it.
And that's what he wanted. It isn't so much milking the clock. He just wants them to be deliberate and take good shots. Don't fall into the traps.
Cam Clark with that three makes it a 1-point deficit.
Cam, the 14-year-old, his brother Kylan, the 13-year-old, and they both get a lot of minutes out there.
Cam, that's a mid-range jumper. Good for Ethan.
And that's what he wanted. It isn't so much. Yeah, Ethan Q. He just wants them to be deliberate and take good shots. He's had a lot of don't fall into the traps, but he's definitely been out there doing the job, keeping the Wolverines team on their feet, coming with some steals and running the offense.
Once again, we're seeing that slow, methodical offense for the Eagles in MHEA.
Yeah, Ethan Q. Take his time, work the ball around, find the seam, get some of their athletes involved like the Clarks, and then they lose the ball again. And yes, he lost control and ran into the Wolverines player, knocked him to the floor.
Once again, we're seeing that slow, methodical offense for the Eagles in MHEA. Gabriel Wilson taking the smack for CHSA.
Got to be ready to do that, and they gave up the body there to get the foul.
This is Ethan Q bringing it up the floor. He'll pass it around. Great passing. Here's the three. Good!
Ramirez! Boy, they found their outside stroke. They weren't able to hit many of those in the first quarter, but here they are in the second, lighting it up.
Now here's Cam Cook. I think if MHEA wants to climb back into this game, they've got to rely on his shooting. They'll give it up to Davis. Here's Daniel Davis. Davis, this is Kylan Clark, Cam's little brother. He'll give it to Cam. Cam back to Davis. This back to Davis.
Very deliberate style.
Yep.
Trying to just work around that
three
zone.
Again. Cam Clark, no good. Rebound. Two. Whoa. And a bad collision.
Looked like when he slid on the floor, you get a floor burn. We saw a couple of those last night over at Parkview. And also the way that he's sometimes when your body is sweaty and you hit the floor like that, you stick and then it just pulls on your skin. Not a fun thing.
Yeah, not a very fun thing at all. Here's Ethan Q bringing it up the floor. Quinones dumps it off to Jonathan Harris. Harris back to Quinones. Looks like they're going to be content now. They might slow it down for the final shot. Here's number 23 to Harris for three. No.
It was an open look. He had to take it.
And that's a questionable call there. It looked like it was a clean steal.
I'll tell you the only reason he had to call it, you could hear the smack. It was the initial knocker looked okay, but on his follow through on the steal attempt, he's definitely slapped because you could hear it.
It's been a clean game so far. One team has 3 fouls. I'm not for sure which team.
Yep, looks like MHEA's had 3.
MHEA with 3 fouls. We don't know. They've had some difficulties with the scoreboard today.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but it says Warriors and Hornets. That's not the names of these teams, but we know which one's which. 22-16, CHSA in the lead.
Here's Clark, and that's a steal, nearly a steal. Great awareness by Davis, but then he gets it knocked away, and what a sequence.
You know what? You love that. Great hustle by both players. Are on the floor, not giving up on the defensive end, and then they help each other up, and that's how the half ends. With a 22-16 lead for the Wolverines out of Texas over the Eagles from Memphis.
22-16, CHSA leads MHEA. We will be right back with the second half after this. And we welcome you back to Hammond Student Center. Joel Foreman along with Scott. Getting ready for the second half of this 14U matchup between CHSA and MHEA. MHEA in the black uniforms with the blue numbers. CHSA in the white uniforms with the gold numbers and the brown trim. MHEA has white trim on their jerseys.
MHEA came out early, had a lead in the first, but the second quarter was all CHSA. They finally converted some of those steals into transition points, and they've grabbed a 6-point lead headed here into the second half.
A little bit of confusion. It'll end up being MHEA ball to start, and they'll inbound it into Cam Clark. Cam Clark led the way in scoring. He had 8 points in that first half for MHEA. He's looking, trying to come up with a play. Very methodical is this MHEA offense, and we had described that earlier. And they're putting it inside, back out to Clark. Clark looking for an open man. Back out to him, nearly pulled up for a deep, deep three.
Yeah, Coach Thomas knows his team, and you can tell that what he felt like is they were playing into the hand of the Wolverines, and he wants them to be a little more, slow it down, look for open shots.
And here's Kylan Clark, Cam Clark's little brother. It's weird, it almost seems like Kylan is taller than Cam.
Yeah, it could be. I've got 5 kids, and my youngest son is the tallest, so you never know.
Yeah. And here's inside, he tried to get it to his brother Kylan, and he was fouled in the process.
Harris being aggressive there to try to get the steal, but ran straight into Clark and picks up the foul.
And here's the inbounds. He gives it into Cam Clark, who tried to get it into number 33, Andrew Thomas, but got it stolen away.
Yeah, Quinones right there.
It's Q. Here's a 3. No. Offensive rebound. Players falling everywhere, looking for an open shot. My goodness, this is crazy. And now a steal. Daniel Davis. Davis running it up the floor. He'll slow it down.
Yep, listen to the coach, and that's what he's done.
Gives it up to Clark, back to Davis. Davis to Thomas for a long 3. Airballed it.
Not a bad look. Yeah. He was probably 3 or 4 feet behind where the coach wanted him to take that shot.
And then number 23, tough shot, great defense.
Ramirez could not convert there, and he had a great first half, 10 points, led all scorers, but that time could not get it to fall.
Great defensive pressure here by the white team. The 3, no. CHSA. Sometimes I forget the names of these teams.
Well, yeah, when you look up and see Warriors and Hornets on the board, that's easy to do. And that was a throwaway. Turnover. They got a little too much ahead of themselves, tried to speed it up, and when they made the long pass to the other end of the court, it went out of bounds off their own player.
So Cam Clark will bring it up the floor for MHEA. Cam Clark, I'm telling you, for just a 14-year-old, he is such a good basketball player.
Yeah, both Clarks do a great job. They're players that you know, just if you've seen them play before, they have a good basketball IQ. They understand the game, and they're going to have to stop play here. And that stinks for MHEA because the ball came out on the floor, and right after that, they sunk a 3-pointer, Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas, he's a bigger kid, but you love to have a big guy like him that can shoot the 3. Almost like that Kristaps Porzingis kind of play.
Yeah, he can do it.
So they'll give it into Thomas, who will give it back to Clark, and it seems like Cam Clark definitely has had a majority of the touches for MHEA. Back to Thomas, back to Clark. They're just kind of playing catch with each other. And Clark has the ball now, trying to get it inside to Thomas. 3. Yes!
He got it back. That has to make the person that lost the ball feel much better. But, you know, that worked because they fed it inside on the elbow, top of the key, and then they kicked it back out. Thomas was ready, loaded, fired, and hit the shot.
Here is number 3, Hank Jackson for CHSA, and he loses the ball, but it'll go right back to the Wolverines.
Kylan Clark almost came up with the steal. He tapped it out, but wasn't able to gather it in before it went out of bounds.
And stripped away, a near block by Daniel Davis.
Again, quick hands for the MHEA Eagles. They've cut it to 3 and playing really tough on defense now.
So to inbound it, it's Ethan Q. And they'll shoot the 3. Awkward shot. Gabriel Ramirez. And, that's
called a travel.
They called it a travel. I couldn't see, but now that I look about it, he took about 5 steps.
Yeah, he did. Quinones got a little ahead of himself. He did a great job pulling in that offensive board and then made himself available for that drive there, but shuffled his feet, and that's a travel.
Clark to bring it up the floor. MHEA sparking a comeback. I would say that Thomas is not the guy you want on the perimeter right now. If you're CHSA, they'll give the ball to him.
Got to be aware of where he is. MHEA, look for them to feed the ball somewhere on the elbow or near the free throw line, or CHSA trying to force the players off of there for the Eagles. But if they can do that, they can turn around and shoot or kick it back out for a quick 3 attempt.
Here's Thomas. Ooh, great pass fake. Got me. Kylan Clark, turnaround jump shot, no good. And this is Hank Jackson to bring it up the floor. Jackson, what a crossover move. Tried to get over by Clark. And
there's a body foul.
A body foul on...
Foul on the floor, number 0.
Cam Clark. I wasn't sure if that was Cam Clark or Kylan Clark, because Kylan Clark went airborne right there.
Yep.
I figured they were going to give Kylan the foul.
Could have gone either way. CHSA now, they've not put any points on the board for a little while, and they've hit this drought. They need to continue what they did at the start of this quarter. Ramirez has found some open looks, not able to convert on that last 3. They'll bring it in under their own basket.
And here's the inbounds pass. This is, once again, Jonathan Harris. Somebody squared up a 3. I couldn't see who that was. Cam Clark pulls down the rebound. He'll bring it up the floor. And as I mentioned earlier...
That was Wilson on the shot.
Okay.
Couldn't get it to go, though.
This is Bryce Griffith, who's trying to throw it to Kylan Clark, who gets tripped up.
Wow.
A foul. They're not going to get it. Griffith, the layup, no.
Boy, they're letting them play.
That's for
definitely
sure.
was some contact there, but neither official called a foul.
And a blocked 3-point shot. Wow.
Yeah, we came to the basketball game, and a football game broke out there for about 20 seconds.
CHSA fans are not happy at the moment.
Yeah, their player got knocked to the ground, but the official said they both were pushing, and so he let it go.
And trying to get it in, they do. This is Ramirez. Ooh, what a spin pass to Q. Air ball. They want a foul. They're not going to get it. I think they're calling a double dribble. Is that what it was?
No, it looks like they called a foul on number 2. I don't see a number 2. Oh, 23. Okay, Ramirez picked up the foul. MHEA's, they've really ratcheted up the defensive pressure.
Yeah, they really have.
Look for them to find another interior pass, maybe at the top of the key, the high post, and be able to kick it out. Look for one of their long-range shooters. They've also got Clark, who's very athletic and can drive if he finds a seam. But it's going to be study that defense and see where they can find an opening.
Thomas with the ball, gives it into Griffith. Griffith being held, gives it out, number 35 for the tie. No, nearly offensive rebound. And a foul called. That is going to send Joe Moore to the line for 2.
Boy, Moore, he's came in giving some good minutes off the bench, as well as Carson Guess. He was down there, grabbed the board, and tried to force the ball in, but picked up the contact and the foul.
Joe Moore's first. Bounced everywhere on the rim and goes through.
22-20 now. MHEA whittling away.
And here's Joe Moore's second, short, off the rim.
Little short on that
2-point lead for CHSA. They'll try to pass it in. They do. Here's a float shot, and in and out and out.
Great misdirection by Ramirez when he faked it, but just the ball rolled off the backside of the rim, and MHEA there to gather it up.
Here's Moore to bring it up the floor. He'll give it to Thomas. And a timeout called by MHEA.
Good timeout. You got the last 22.9 seconds of the third quarter. You're down by 2, and so Coach Thomas is going to talk to his team and be able to talk through what he wants on this inbounds play, these last 22 seconds. You got a couple of different options here. Most likely going to let the clock wind down unless you just get a really open look. and that's what I would expect. At
Yeah.
the same time, you know, CHSA is going to do whatever they can to up the pressure and the tempo and try to get that ball back and steal a possession before the clock runs out here in the third quarter.
It has been a very entertaining game, to say the least. The Wolverines of CHSA really, throughout the majority of that first half, were controlling the game, controlling the tempo. I mean, it was almost a perfect half for them. But, you know, MHEA came out in the second half, and they haven't gone away. I've really been impressed with the way the Clark brothers have made their impact in the game today.
Absolutely. You knew coming in they're going to leave their mark on the game. The coach told us before the game, look for these guys. We're a pretty well-balanced team in scoring. And, hey, up on the scoreboard, somebody finally went over and fixed it. We've got a home and guest now, so that's going to make it a little easier instead of the Warriors and Hornets.
So,
ball comes in.
Cam Clark will bring it across the timeline for the Eagles. He'll drive in, gets a nice screen. Now he'll give it off to number 35, to Thomas for the lead.
You can't lose him.
And you definitely can't lose him. Puts up a wild shot. They're saying no shot, foul on the floor.
No, timeout.
Oh,
They got a timeout. Coach called a timeout right before they could have called a foul or a travel, and Coach Thomas, well aware of the situation, and called a timeout to rescue his player from making a turnover there. And on that shot, if you're CHSA, you cannot lose Thomas. You've got to know where he is at all times, because he can hit the outside shot, and somehow he was able to find that spot. Got to believe it was a drawn-up play by his coach, and they're going to try to have something ready here for these last 5.9 seconds to draw even or even take the lead on a three.
You know, if I am MHEA right here, I'm only down by 2. I want to see if I can feed one of my big boys down low and try to get a nice little easy shot underneath the basket for the tie.
Yeah, the Wolverines have done a great job denying down low, though. It's been hard to get those interior passes, and so they've been working the ball around the outside and then trying to go the inside-out game.
So here we go. Thomas to inbound. He'll give it off to Cam Clark.
Knocked out of bounds.
Got knocked out of bounds. Ball will stay with the Eagles.
5.4 seconds, just a little time went off the clock.
Looking for the inbound. It's Thomas, and it gets stolen away. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Got it! Buzzer beater!
Ethan Quinones.
Ethan Q with the buzzer beater to give momentum to the Wolverines of CHSA. Wow!
24-20, and that could be huge points. They're up by 2 now, going into that final period. And boy, that was a heads-up play. The inbounds pass, they were trying to find a cutter inside the lane. They overthrew it just a bit because of the pressure. And when Quinones came up with the ball, he took it all the way, beat the clock, put it in, and after he scored, just jumps up at exultation, ready to celebrate with his team and his fans as they head into that fourth quarter.
Hey, I just called you. Hey, do you want to?
Great first 3 quarters of play by both teams. What are you looking for in this fourth quarter, Scott?
Well, I mean, right now, we've pretty much, I think, seen what MHEA is going to do. They're going to be very deliberate. They're going to watch for openings, try to attack the seams. You got your athletes like Clark's that are going to be able to drive potentially inside. They've also been kind of posting up some of their players. They looked for Bruce Griffith, rather. Daniel Davis, they've been down there, but so far the Wolverines have done a good job at denying them in the interior pass, and so they've had to resort to make some screens and some get some open looks. Andrew Thomas is deadly from outside, but on the other end, you got to love the Wolverines' pressure. They forced turnovers, they played solid defense. It's been Ramirez bringing the points, Quinones, just a fantastic job, and if they continue that, look for the Wolverines to continue to apply pressure, force the issue a little bit if they can, and try to get some easy buckets out of that.
24-20, a new 6 seconds on the clock. Final quarter of play, MHEA versus CHSA. Battle for the gold ball.
Quinones with the ball in his hands again, and that's where you want it if you're CHSA.
For
He's really
sure.
running this offense.
Here is Hank Jackson dribbling it around. Looking for an open seam. He